Hello guys and welcome back to the WCA Open Qualifier. We are at the grand finals. Camlin taking the crazy game, securing the spot into China. That was just nuts.
Yeah, definitely. It was the fact that the set went to all 5 games, obviously it's really close. The fact that then the last game was as close as probably a game could have been, and it literally came down to a Leroy that was in the turn beforehand, and then Crane had the opportunity to play the Weblord and didn't. That one play changed the game completely, as it would have actually locked Leroy out, I think, and not been able to push for that lethal. So really close game, but yeah, Camlin played really well, brought some really interesting decks and interesting card choices within those decks. So, you know, he's made it through, and he's joining, not Crane, he's joining gaara and MillAlex as one of the 3 qualifying spots to China.
And then Felreaver actually burned out 2 Druids of Claws, which are 2 of the things that could have saved him as well. So this is what has happened at the tournament overall. The top 8 of the Open Qualifier from a 512-man bracket with some massive eSports teams participating. Navi, SK Gaming, Dignitas, all those guys did participate but couldn't get through. And now we're down to just gaara from Tempo Storm and Alex from Millennium.
Yeah, it's going to be a really, really good final. These 2 guys, pretty top of their game. You know, gaara obviously probably more well known than Alex, but Alex is on Team Millennium, so you know, pretty good organisations. Got the French scene is very sort of insular,
yeah,
but still strong. You know, it's not like it's quiet because it's not very good. It's just quiet because it likes to stay within itself in the general terms of things. But we are going to go now into the first game. So we are going to see gaara versus Alex.
Game number 1, guys, of the grand finals. Tempo Storm gaara versus Millennium Alex. It looks like it's going to be Paladin coming from gaara, Hunter coming from Alex. Let's see which player is going to walk away with $8,000 and the other player walking away with 3. Alrighty. Mulligans go through. Haunted Creeper, a great card to keep there. Can trade into those smaller minions from the Hunter very easy. Massive Battle, of course, fantastic. Defender of Argus, going to interact with those cards very well. Alex, on the other hand, he keeps a Unleash the Hounds for the Massive Battle, I imagine. Maybe keep the Abusive Sergeant for a Tempo turn 1 play. But we'll have to see what he decides to throw away here.
Yeah, there we go. So the high main is going to go. And we're just going to go into Unleash the Hounds. Double Unleash, actually. But not too bad versus Paladin.
Yeah, not too bad at all. He gets 2 opportunities to punish an overextended board from gaara here. Leponome finds its way to the top, which is great for him. He doesn't have to play the Abusive Sergeant as tempo, and he can use it to trade up a little bit later.
Yep, so Leponome goes down. Follow up with the Creeper's pretty nice. You know, a turn late, unfortunately, there. So, and the Zombie Chow getting drawn on turn 2 is one of the worst things when you've got a 2-drop. It's like, if this was down turn 1, I would feel pretty comfortable about this matchup.
I know Repentance instead. No, that's a bit of a burn there. Repentance, not going to find much value at this point in the game. You know, he still has Master for Battle. He still has Argus, still not a lot of nice tools. But for Alex here, you get Abusive Sergeant, put the pressure, maybe even coin Bow, maybe even just Freezing Trap.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. The only problem with Freezing Trap is it does bounce. I would actually have liked Freezing Trap coin Abusive Sergeant, because then you build the board as well as reduce your opponent's board. And it's really strange one. I'm not sure what he's saving the coin for at this point, because next turn he could bow anyway. And, you know, like, and then he's just got Unleash. So it's not like he's maybe got a Shredder in hand that he can coin into or wants to coin into. Because now, even with this play, he would still have an Abusive Sergeant, and then he could Unleash. So still clear the board, keep the Sergeant on the board, and keep going that way. But now, you know, it's got a bit of a less impactful turn, unless he sort of coins the Abusive now, and then maybe just goes to face with one of the dogs for the extra damage. It's a really odd situation now.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably not expecting something like an Argus. I think gaara did use Argus in his previous game, and Alex might have been watching it, but he may just go. It looks like he's having with a bow here. This deck from, if I remember rightly, from Alex is just a hybrid variant. It's not like a face version like we'd seen previously from Camlin. So it looks like he has just gone for the bow here. Gonna let him develop the board a little bit more before he swings out with those Unleash the Hounds.
Yeah, and yeah, it's an interesting play to bow. I mean, He is playing an aggressive style of the deck, but I always like to unleash against an empty board of just the muster, because the second secrets start coming down, like Avenge and Redemption, the board gets very sticky very quickly. So I, especially with 2 unleashes, I maybe would have liked to have seen something along the lines of just unleash, clear the board, and then just wait next turn, and then you can unleash Abusive Sergeant to then trade up if he fills the board again. The only problem now for Alex is that he doesn't really have any proper minions to play to actually do anything. So gaara's going to swiftly get ahead on board, and I'd imagine he probably wouldn't even mind just say dropping either just the Argus, or he could even zombie chow and play 2 of the secrets, which still builds the board up pretty well while the secret's being Avenge. So that wouldn't be too terrible actually, and he knows whatever drops next from Alex he can kill, unless say it's a Misha from Animal Companion.
Yeah, I think that's a good point there. You know, play these secrets, get them down, get some thoughts going to Alex's head. You know, what's he gonna have to play and what's he gonna run into? It looks like he might just hero power here instead of playing the zombie chow.
Yeah, I think.
Oh no, he doesn't.
No. I think this is because if he played 1 more minion, he could unleash into one of the tokens and then still have 3 dogs left to kill the buffed Avenge. Because it'll be on 3 health. So what he's playing around is pretty high level actually, but you know what? Sometimes people just have Juggler Unleash. So this is he has a bow as well actually, so this is still going to be really good for Alex. He does bring the Juggler down to just 1 health, which looks like it's going to be tanked by the weapon next turn, but he still has 2 dogs on the board. The Juggler's going to do 3. And very swiftly now, with a second unleash, Abusive Sergeant, Quick Shot, and the hero power ready, he's going to do a lot of damage next turn.
Chow Argus, perhaps now. He's on 14 health. He's bleeding. Yeah, for sure. He needs to like stall now. Those dogs would put too much pressure on his health.
Oh,
Kill Command and Quick Shot and Unleash and Abusive. So all this stuff in Alex's hand, super aggressive, and it's going to play really nicely.
I kind of like Kill Command on the 3/4 and then just hero power and go face with the dogs. Because then next turn, if he clears and plays more minions, then you can like unleash Quick Shot, Abusive for probably a lot of damage. He's just going to clear it this way though. Doesn't leave quite as strong the board, and the problem now is if those 2 dogs get killed, the kill command isn't hitting for 5 anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't have the activate.
Yeah, whereas next turn, if he'd saved it, or if he'd used it on the chow instead, he saves the dogs. Your opponent's probably going to play minions, or they're going to die anyway. So the dogs would have got a lot of value next turn if it just held off a little bit there. But I think maybe that's just a sign of being very used to holding on to burn over minions. But the way Unleash works, it could have worked a little bit in his favour if he'd done it the other way around this turn. True Heart's going to come down from gaara, as he doesn't have much else of a play, and he knows that if True Heart comes down now, he can start to maybe wrestle ball control back.
It's not going to happen, I don't think. I think things are looking a bit bleak here. He gets the kill command phase, hit him, then shot, and then he has Quick Shot, Arcane Golem going to next turn. It's just... It's game over for gaara. I think gaara needed to play the True Heart, like you said, to try and get something going, but I don't think anything is going to happen, unfortunately. Unless he gets heal bot off the top now, which he might. Yeah,
and the thing is, because one of the dogs survived, it definitely, helped. Because when the kill command does an extra 1 damage, it's like, extra 2 damage, sorry, from it being a beast. That can really change everything when you're playing these aggro matchups or slightly more aggressive decks. When, 2 or 3 damage here and there actually changes the game and can win or lose you the battle in the long run.
Noble Sacrifice, not going to be enough here to stop Alex from winning a quick game 1 from this aggressive hybrid hunter. Alex taking the first game 1-0, closer to winning at $8,000.
Yeah, nice game overall there. There's not too much he could have done really. Just suffered from the hunter issue, and again we saw that Juggler Unleash had a huge impact in that matchup. Pretty much cleared the board for him, so it was a really powerful combo there against Paladin. But you know what? He doesn't have that combo anymore because he's won with his hunter, and that's now gone.
Yeah, hunter's off the table. Going into game number 2 here, 1-0 to Alex. Can gaara fight back with this Paladin, which he's queued again, and now he gets a zombie chow in his open hand. He's drawing like a Paladin should, right?
Well, maybe a few people would argue with you on that one, like a Paladin should, as people don't really love Paladins too much at the moment, but he's definitely drawing well for his deck. He has the zombie chow straight into mini bot, and he has Avenge, which combined with the chow and the mini bot, you kind of, either the chow dies and buffs the mini bot, or the mini-bot dies, which is normally difficult because of the Divine Shield, and makes the Chow actually a minion that, yes, it heals for 5, but suddenly it's hitting for 5. So if it gets to hit twice, as well as the hits it's going to get this turn now, then, you know, it's still a bit of a threat.
And Alex actually doesn't draw much. He gets a swipe, but that's not going to be much use against Gaara's hand. Innovate on first and can happen on 4, but he needs to draw a little bit more to be able to start fighting.
Second Chow as well. Don't think we've seen double Chow from Gaara. So yeah, yesterday. No, I don't remember seeing both, at least at the same time. So having double Chow, it just shows the way these different secret paladins can play, and it's just so much security and so much to get rid of for the druid. You're gonna see Alex just opt for the Shade of Naxxramas. Gonna just get it down. There's no real point playing much else at the moment. We might even see him planning for an Innovate Emperor next turn to get something a bit chunkier down and, you know, reduce the mana cost of his hand so far. Not the best hand in the world, but, you know, it could be worse. The swipe's going to be nice, but double zombie Chow's pretty rough.
Yeah, he's got a lot to deal with here. He does get the shade at least on 3. It wasn't looking great. He can innovate force on it here, maybe force these Chows to kind of run into it. But, you know, he does have some stuff coming into the future, which is pretty good. If he can keep the board clear, and when Mysterious Challenger, if Mysterious Challenger comes down on its own, a very good way to deal with Challenger is kind of just hero power. The Noble Sacrifice, Avenge will go on it, and you just BGH it. And that's a nice, clean way to deal with a Challenger. Yeah,
and like you said, keeping the board clear is what you need to do, because the second Avenge goes on something else, you're in some major trouble. Yeah. I mean, also, he does have a slight backup of, say, Swipe, Keep Up the Grove. You know, there are options, and the Emperor getting you know, like I think we said this yesterday, Emperor's like Hyper Taunt, where it just has to be killed, or you're probably going to win the game anyway. So that's done some work. The Shredder does go down. We see that Wrath is a pretty nice answer, and actually Keep of the Grove Wrath is looking reasonably okay. And the Avenge is down, right? Is that Avenge?
That's Avenge.
Yeah, so he can actually throw the shade away. And in this sort of, again, like you said, you want the board to be empty for the big Game Hunter turn onto the Mysterious Challenger.
Oh, this is even better, because now we can silence this, then Wrath it, so he doesn't actually have to trade away
very
his shade.
True, yeah.
Very nice.
These guys These guys are better than us at the game, it seems.
These guys are pretty good.
Yeah, these guys are okay at Hearthstone. So Swipe and Savage Raw is still okay at this point. He still has the board, and Gaara we see doesn't have Consecrate. But Coin Mysterious Challenger may come out this turn, but also he has Tyrion to build up to as well, and he's already seen 1 Silence come down. So the second he sees the second Ancient, Keep at the Grove, then, you know, he knows Tyrion's safe, or more than likely he'll have seen the first one and think, well, he's probably not drawn the second one, right?
You know, keeping the coin for Tyrion's really good here, actually, because I know he doesn't know Alex has it, but Alex has a really efficient way of dealing with Mysterious Challenger next turn, especially because Mysterious Challenger is going to be played alone. So having that coin Tyrion backup after the Challenger gets dealt
it bridges the Dr. Boom turn you normally you really want into the 6, 7, 8 drops for the Paladin.
I mean, actually, coining out Argent Squire would change kind of the dynamic of how he deals with this Mysterious Challenger. But you're obviously going to keep your coin for Tyrion there. Oh, Ancient of War
as well. So not going to see that this turn.
No,
I don't think, but
no, you just run your dude in, you big game hunter him. You could have just used hero power there if you'd wanted. Oh no, you can use a hero power on that for the redemption actually. Yeah. So yeah, this is just so clean.
Yeah, because it actually holds on to the swipe as well. So this is really nice actually. I imagine we're going to see big game hunter, because we see redemption wasn't there actually.
When did redemption get used? Unless he's just not running it.
No, he must be, right?
He's just not running it then.
Did we just miss one?
He didn't use it. He just doesn't run redemption.
Oh, fair enough. That's a really interesting choice. I suppose when you run all these cards like Quartermaster, Argent Squire, and some of the Justicar, you've got to make the cut somewhere in the deck, right?
And redemption was the card Gaara chose. So dealing with this challenge was super easy.
Yeah, he's trying to make us feel bad, because it's like, did we just miss a redemption completely? Because that's pretty impactful early game. But maybe we didn't. You know, maybe we didn't.
But he can put his faith in the light here, get that Tyrion down, and start trying to kind of fight back here. But, you know, he can even clear Tyrion and make a Druid Claw here, or he could just chuck the Ancient of War down and say, you know what, Tyrion, you've got a bigger fish to fry here, and you're not going to be able to punch through this on your own.
And also suddenly Druid of the Claw and Swipe and Savage Roar. That's a lot of damage coming out from Alex here to just burst gaara down, because Alex isn't really under too much pressure. Yes, Tyrion's a pain, but again with his with his 5/10 and gaara doesn't really have an answer. The Sludge Belcher again, it's nice as a defensive option, but because Alex has so much burn and potential with his top decks, then he's still going to really struggle.
Well, he still smacks this Agent of War in the face. He wants to be able to kill it next turn, but not only that, he wants to get this weapon, I guess, as soon as possible, so he can start leveraging the board.
Wow.
Drake
Mega Swipe. Yeah, the Mega Swipe onto the Belcher clears the Tyrion and the token, and then he can just poke the 1/2 down with what would you use? You would want to keep hold of the 4/1, right?
Yep,
Oh, he's got Noble Sack, so he has to use both anyway, right?
Yeah, it makes no difference. So really
yeah, this is fine.
He still keeps the 5/1 down.
Yeah.
So he's probably, unless he draws like a Consecrate, he still has to run his weapon into it and take 5 damage. And look at the burst coming from MillAlex next turn. Is that enough, actually? So that's going to be 12 with Hero. I think that's actually just lethal next turn.
Yeah, it's 14. Oh, because he can Hero Power.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Let's just make sure, or let's see if Alex can spot this.
He's probably just counting them. He gets 12 from the minions with the Savage Roars on top of him, 2 from his hero, and then an extra 1 from his hero power. So that's going to make 15 in total, and he'll be able to finish him off. But, it's $8,000 he's playing for right now. He's doing the maths.
Yeah, you may as well. And you know what? What a lot of people might not understand is, to these top-end pros, the first place finish is worth something.
Oh yeah,
probably worth a lot more than everything else. Obviously the trip to China is huge for the specific tournament, but a lot of the time saying I have won this tournament, 512 man open qualifier all the way to first place, that's pretty huge for these guys.
No, and Alex wasn't a player I was aware of until this tournament. I mean, I know Millennium have a strong presence in the French community, not just for Hearthstone, but for other games as well, I believe. So, this has really put Alex on kind of the map for me, and watching him play throughout this tournament, through these last 2 days, he's played exceptionally well. So clean, he's made excellent decisions, his maths has been great, he's just a fantastic player.
Yeah, he's looking really strong here and there. Taking that game off gaara's got to feel pretty good. And now he's going into his Secret Paladin. So this is one of those mirrors where they are playing different variations of this deck. We see the slightly more aggressive version from Alex with such as Secret Keepers, where we see Zombie Chow's True Silver from gaara. A True Heart, sorry. But Zombie Chow turn 1 into Minibot turn 2. And then you've got Avenge and Noble Sacrifice. It's a pretty good start, right?
It is. I think it's a shame that Alex didn't find a better secret than Repentance here. If he'd found, say, a Noble Sacrifice, he could have at least stalled this Zombie Chow and at least hit it down enough that maybe Muster can clear up in the future. But, Zombie Chow's not going to be able to do it on his own. He needs to find that extra 1 damage. And as we've mentioned before, turn 2, it's not where they find that extra damage.
No, definitely not.
Not a good target for Repentance, but it was more important to buff your Secret Keeper at this point, just so you can leverage the board.
Yeah, because you don't want that Secret Keeper to just get traded away to Zombie Chow. Zombie Chow's still on 2 health, still awkward to get rid of, as we can see that Alex doesn't have a mini-bot of his own to challenge it. But now it's a tough choice as to what Alex wants to do. I would kind of understand it if he took the shield off the mini-bot and played Hero Power, which means that his token trades with at least one of them, probably the Zombie Chow if anything. But he is going to go for the buff and just push for more damage. So the Zombie Chow still sacrifices itself, and next turn he has Muster for battle, so Avenge is almost certainly going to get procced.
That's what he was setting up. He was figuring out whether he wants to set up Avenge for Muster next turn, or he just wants to have that 1/1 there to challenge either the Zombie Chow or the mini-bot, and I think the Avenge is stronger.
Yeah, and gaara doing the sequencing correct there, running his weapon in first just to make sure it's not Noble Sacrifice, and then running using the Divine Shield up on the minion to clear the board. And this is definitely a rough one, because now you start to weigh up, do I hold off a turn or so because I have Shredder? So do I Cog Hammer this turn, kill a minion, play Shredder next turn and then juggle a Muster to pull me back in the game, or will Muster pull me back in the game enough now? Because if he plays Muster and gaara just hits Consecrate next turn, the game's pretty much over.
I think Alex has some wiggle room here. You know, he's 2-0 up already. He can go for the more ambitious play by going with Muster if he really wants to, because he does have the Avenge to set up as well.
Yep.
But I do like, it's kind of heads up here playing around Consecrate using the Cog Hammer. But Cog Hammer, when it hits a minion with Divine Shield, it's just so satisfying, you know, so much value.
Yeah, I just think looking at his curve, that Cog Hammer would come too late to do anything anyway. Yeah. Because he's going to Muster, then he's going to Shredder, then he's probably going to juggle a Cog Hammer, sorry. So he won't, might not have minion to buff at that point except for the juggler. So I kind of like this play and in the fact that Alex kind of knows that he needs to sort of snap the game back a little bit later on with the powerful combo of juggler and Muster for battle. And what this means as well is that the two secrets down on gaara, one was Avenge and the other one was Noble Sacrifice. So he can use the weapon to proc the Noble Sacrifice and now sort of demand an answer from gaara, or gaara just ignores him and gets puts himself on the aggressive.
It's tough now. That Avenge has definitely made things a little bit more awkward, and the Noble Sacrifice as well. I mean, he's going to get 3 juggles from the Muster, right? But there's a lot more minions than that, and Sludge Belcher, when it comes down for gaara next turn, is definitely going to cause some trouble. What secret is this? This is Avenge, isn't it? It's his own Avenge. So that Avenge from turn 1 has done nothing so far. Gaara is in a very commanding lead.
I'm not sure what I think about this. If he goes Juggler or Juggler Hero Power
for sure.
Yeah, Juggler Hero Power, it's okay, but I think he needed the Shredder because even if he hit the Zombie Chow, he's still not doing great, is he? Whereas the Shredder, it trades really well with most of the stuff on the board, whereas now it's like Muster suddenly doesn't look so great, whereas Shredder probably would have got traded into. Fair enough, it doesn't. It's not like an additional minion to have the Avenge, but now that's a Shredder that doesn't give you an additional minion.
And looks like gaara's just going to put on the pressure here, take him down to 5 health. If that Zombie Chow does get hit by that Knife Juggler, he'll be able to top him up a little bit.
Golden Cog Hammer looks awesome.
We've never seen it before?
No, gaara has one. It looks actually amazing.
Yes. Most of the golden cards look fantastic, to be fair. And I don't have a lot of golden cards, so I don't get to experience them very often. No, I'm a poverty player.
No, that's a lie. We've talked about this, Aqua. You've got plenty of gold on your account. You just don't want to buy those packs to get those gold cards, get that bling. Whereas I'm all about it. As soon as I get 100 gold, boom, pack.
Yeah,
and it's never that good.
Though. I didn't spend any money.
But there we go. I mean, gaara was so much health, and Alex just didn't have enough and couldn't get far enough ahead into the game. So there we go. So that is 1-all.
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah, we've had some quick games from Alex.
Oh, of course, yeah.
2-1.
The games are going too fast. I want plenty of time over this finals, but we are going to see the guys get straight back into the other game. They've got no time messing about here, and it's going to be the Hunter of gaara versus the Secret Paladin of Alex.
To be the golden cards, that is a golden card I want. Argent Horse Rider. My favourite soundbite of the entire set. So good.
I crafted those because of Jab. Jab basically released a list that he was playing, and I respect Jab as a good Hunter player. So I looked at the list, and I like to have Golden Hunter at all times. I do admit, and stream's probably going to appreciate this, or probably not. I have crafted Golden Ball of Spiders because I wanted to try one out, but I wanted my full Golden Hunter deck.
Man.
So I put a lot of dust into this, but hey ho. Going back to the game, what you're all actually watching for is the Secret Keeper's gone down turn 1, which is actually a strange card versus Hunter, because the Hunter can't really play their own traps.
Yeah, it
because it still buffs it. It's like a board-wide effect as opposed to just your own secrets. It didn't get the nerf treatment that the Hunter's Eagle Hornbow got, where Eagle Hornbow used to buff +1 durability from every secret that was procced.
Oh, I remember those good old days.
Yeah, the Hunter mirrors where it's like, who's going to attack first? So good. But yeah, gaara's got a pretty reasonable hand though. It looks a little bit clunky with 2 secrets versus a Secret Keeper, but a good thing to note is Freezing Trap would then also sort of negate that card. I kind of like the Coin Creeper here because unless your opponent double locks in 2 secrets next turn, then, and even if he does, you've got Creeper into Quick Shot to just remove that card straight away.
He's actually going to quick. I was thinking about
Wow,
that.
this is a lot of respect, and I think this is. Do you think this is led by the fact that he has 2 secrets in?
Oh yeah, for sure. But the one thing I was thinking, he's going to get punished so hard now by Master for Battle.
Yeah.
And that's what I knew gaara was thinking about, because, like I said, holding 2 secrets for the secret keeper, like, I don't want to buff that guy up, because he'll just trade for days. And of course, my secrets may not get as much value, but this is amazing. So he can actually attack with the Knife Juggler now if he wants. If he gets a good read on a Bear Trap, which he probably won't. He's probably going to muster just because in case of the freezing. But even now, it's just he gets to squeeze in 3 damage, he gets the weapon, he can test the trap if he likes. The Quick Shot was in response to those 2 secrets in his hand, but Alex had a good response in his own, having the the Juggler combo.
Yeah, and even now, he can actually be happy with the Juggler doing 3 juggles, and then clearing the Bear Trap as well. So he's going to put the Bear Trap and knows that pretty much no matter what happens, he can deal with it. And this is still nice because next turn, he has 3 1/1s on an empty board and a True Silver Champion to deal with any minion. Fortunately for Alex, we can see on the flip side that gaara has not the best answer in the world, but he could have unleashed just to clear those 1/1s off. But Creeper kind of does the same job, but over a bit of a longer time. Alex actually running double Divine Favor.
1 gold, 1 normal.
Which versus Hunter is going to be fairly dead, especially with a pretty low curve like this. gaara hasn't got the Dr. Boom, the high mains, or the low Theb that's going to come in a few more turns. He has got all the cheap cards that he can sort of splurge a couple more out. Probably like something along Creeper, maybe Unleash now because of that muster for battle building up the board.
Yeah, it's really really clunky card against aggro decks. And the aggro mirror, Divine Favor is just a dead draw. Usually most of the time. You can, well, with gaara's hand, you'll probably be able to squeeze out a Divine Favor next turn if he needs to, especially if he draws something with 2 cost or 1 cost. So you might find a little bit of value. And he's going to have to squeeze a Divine Favor in here for sure, because you're never going to get another opportunity to do this.
Yeah, the only difference is because True Silver guards his tokens a little bit. Or does this look like he's just going face? Okay.
I would have liked the Divine Favor there, to be honest, because otherwise they're just going to sit in your hand. I know if he develops a Sludge Belcher and Alex finds another kind of 1 cost, another 2 cost, or a 3 cost, he can Divine Favor then.
Yeah, the issue there was that Divine Favor would have just drawn him 1 card, so it's a 1 cycle. He had 4 cards. True Silver, Noble Sacrifice, and 2 Divine Favor.
Of course, yeah.
So it would have only drawn 1 card, so it wouldn't have been the most optimal play there. Whereas at least now he can start cycling those a little bit. 3 card Divine Favor, and he knows he can probably do, something a little bit later, and he just goes straight into double Mysterious Challenger and Tyrion. Okay.
That should just win you the game, right?
Yeah, that might well have just changed the game pretty dramatically. There's a Sludge Belcher, Unleash, and Freezing Trap along with the bow from gaara. What you've got to think is the second this Challenger comes down, gaara doesn't really have the cards to deal with it. I think the Freezing Trap's going to be really important because, as he said, he can kill a minion. This secret is Redemption, so he can clear completely, play Freezing Trap, or probably play Belcher.
Probably play Belcher.
And then next turn, he can bow to proc, use the Belcher to kill the buff minion, and then just slam Freezing Trap. I kind of like that. It's the same situation we saw earlier, where Freezing Trap just locked out the Mysterious Challenger.
Yeah, it's definitely the best way to go about it, like you said. But when the second Challenger comes down, and he's like, oh man, I got to deal with that guy. And then when Tyrion comes down, it's going to be a lot of problem. And a Cog Hammer as well. So
but it's not gold.
it's not as bling as gaara's, unfortunately.
And we see again from Alex there, the multiple. I think everyone's bought a significantly different variation of Secret Paladin. From gaara only using a few secrets to Alex bringing out the full Christmas tree there.
Yep, and he's not going to get a full Christmas tree from his next one, but he'll finish deck for another 3 cards. So he'll find it easier to find stuff like Dr. Boom and more power plays. Shredder's a really good draw as well, so you can actually just go Tyrion here if he wants. There's a lot of things he could do, actually. He could go another Challenger, Mysterious Challenger if he wanted. But there's not much point of the secrets having been procced. I like Coghammer. Creates quite a nice line of defense. You can play Shredder. So
I think Coghammer...
Shredder seems good. And
Coghammer tests for a trap as well, though.
Yeah, Coghammer does the trap test. He creates a 7/7 Divine Shield Taunt to protect him. And then if he does make the read on Freezing Trap, you can think, right, he has to now clear Shredder. 2 parts of the Shredder, or his Freezing Trap is going to be awful.
Yep. And the fact that he's got the follow-up of Tyrion, like you said, or Challenger, and then at worst, once he's cleared those guys out, probably again goes back to the low end of his curve of his deck, Divine Favour becomes useful again. Even though it's been clunky, you know, a bit clunky, sat in his hand for a while, the second one can actually cycle through some cards, unless gaara empties his hand, which, to be fair, gaara has the potential to with such this low curve. I think Juggler Unleash, or at least Juggler Scientist, is definitely coming down this turn.
This is really difficult for gaara. I like the patience from Alex as well. Going for the Cog Hammer there instead of the Tyrion, putting down a minion like Shredder to bounce back to his hand, making gaara's game plan and the general Hunter game plan with a Freezing Trap lockout obsolete, and then he gets all the power plays following that. So if he doesn't pop his traps, he plays Tyrion. If he does pop his traps, he could still play Tyrion, but he has the option of Challenger again. Just so powerful. Let's just see what gaara does in response here.
Yeah, I think you see where this juggle goes, definitely.
Oh, nowhere.
No, that is the worst one, I think. Oh, he's running out of time, actually. He needs to really sort of make this choice pretty quick. And he just passes, passes the initiative over to Alex. He's filled up the board a little bit, but that juggle really didn't go where he wanted to see it there.
All right, bouncy time. Alex is going to be super happy. He does get a charge on his bow, so he does get a little bit more damage if he can kind of fight back here. But Coghammer is going to clean up all of this Sludge Belcher very nicely. And now he's got Tyrion. Or he could just play Knife Juggler Shredder. There's a lot of things he can do.
Yeah.
Tyrion's super strong, though.
Yeah, because look at that wall that the Hunter has to get through. And bear in mind, there's still a good, good amount of stuff on the Hunter's side. There's the 1 health Shredder, the Juggler, and the Scientist. But you've got 2 massive taunts, a weapon, 3 secrets, which, just to go over them again, are Avenge, Redemption, and Noble Sacrifice. That's like the worst combo to try and plow through, as he's going to attack in now. The Scientist is going to proc the Noble Sacrifice, which then procs the Avenge to make these targets even bigger. And then the Redemption's going to come back, so there's still a 2-1 knocking around to actually deal with some of the opponents, or proc the Hunter's Trap, which we can see Snake. So now, at this point, because Alex is so far ahead on attack, then he can just ignore his opponent, I think, at this point.
Just start swinging.
Yeah, because it looks like gaara's going to have to take 10 to the face, then deal with Tyrion, which is going to be a pretty demanding task.
Well, he can clear at least one of these guys, but like you said,
neither one's good. Because if you clear
good,
Tyrion,
no.
you give him a 5 attack bow, and you've already, lost a lot on your damage. If he clears the 10-7, then he's put all his, or a lot of his resources into it.
He can clear everything, actually, but it costs him everything. And then this is actually really nice from gaara, actually. You can efficiently clear everything.
Yeah, and
but another challenge is going to come down.
exactly. He's choosing to use the bow for face to guard his health to try and even that up a little bit. The 2-3 isn't terrible from Shredder. It's a nice stat distribution to trade away with these tokens. But the Juggler, Mysterious Challenger, probably Avenge, I imagine, over the token. It's going to be pretty nice. Or Shredder, okay.
Ooh, hits the... So, yeah, go face.
Yep, you just hit face.
Keep going.
Face is a thing.
It looks like Alex is in the driving seat here. gaara's top decking. He's got 2 more charges of a 5 attack weapon. He's got board top deck Web Spinner. It's not going to do a lot.
Unless that's like a King Crush when it dies or something huge. Probably not the card you need. Hero power. He does get rid of the Juggler, which is pretty nice. But again, because the Avenge wasn't down.
Oh, Dr. Boom off the top. Oh, man.
So there's 2 damage that Alex needs from somewhere. He can't really attack, and I think that's safe not to attack the Web Spinner here, because you've seen 1 kill command and your opponent's got no cards, so the Web Spinner's doing 1 damage, and he's not seen any Handmasters in this deck.
So actually, Dr. Boom looks fantastic. I actually think Challenger is better. You play less minions on the board. You play less into Unleash the Hounds. You're going to take him down to 2 anyway. You get that. No, I think there's 1 more Noble Sacrifice left.
We're about to find out.
There is nothing left.
Oh.
Nothing left, actually.
Yeah.
But
do you think Alex knew there was nothing left?
I don't know.
Honestly.
I don't know, actually.
Oh, Owl. Okay, so that's definitely not what he needed. And that looks like gaara's going to lose this game, as there's just too much to deal with. And that's the thing, that this Paladin deck, it's all about the secrets. But this Paladin deck, it's so sticky. Like the shredders, all the avenge, the redemptions, the noble sacrifice to soak up like trades that would normally happen on a normal board.
King Crush wins him the game.
Okay, if this happens, I'll buy you a drink.
No,
Nick.
it doesn't win him the game. Actually, can't hero power. Savage Combatant. No, he would have needed because 9 mana King Crush, right? You're the 100 guy. So it wouldn't have won it. It doesn't matter actually.
So he does get Savage Combatant, which is a sick draw because it gives his bow effectively a 5 attack damage instead of 3. But it's definitely not going to be enough, and Gaara's going to lose the game as he throws the owl down. There's the concede.
MillAlex actually wins the tournament, winning the Open Qualifier, $8,000, as well as a qualification spot to the Grand Finals in China. Gaara doesn't go away empty-handed either. He gets $3,000, and also he's qualified, which I bet he's just super happy about.
Yeah, and again, like I said, the qualification spot for these guys is the most important part. Yes, Gaara would have loved for the first place, and loved the extra cash as most of us would.
A lot of dollars.
But but definitely getting the qualification spot is huge here.
So yeah, that is all for the tournament. Though, congratulations to all the people who qualified. Unlucky to Crane for not making it there. So Gaara from Tempo Storm, Alex from Millennium, and Camlin. I will get it correct. Camlin.
Eventually, maybe when he's playing in China, we'll cast. And we'll be like, right, Camlin.
I'll just repeat it in my head over and over. So they will be joining Life Coach Kalendo and Stan Sifka. They are the 6 guys who will be going to China to play in the finals in December. So let's have a look at the bracket just to show you what the tournament was all about. A quick overview of what has happened over the last 2 days. As you can see there, they are the results. Any thoughts on some of those matches we've seen?
Yeah, I mean, overall, the match, a lot of the games went as we would imagine. It's hard to, when you pick Gaara up against a player unknown, you'd have to say Gaara's going to take the win. So with some of the early results we saw Fallen Remote lose to Camlin early on in the round 1 of the top 8, and you know, it's the first time where we saw Camlin's interesting deck choices. Leroy and his Hunter, not too common. Mech Druid in the biggest tournament of his life. Pretty ballsy. You can't argue with that. The next round, we saw Crane lose to Alex, who ended up taking the whole tournament 3-1. And we saw Camlin lose to Gaara 3-2. And then in the 3rd place match, we saw an insanely close set of games with a crazy finisher where Camlin took Crane 3-2, so he stole away that China spot from Crane, which I know he's quite intent on. And then, as you guys have just seen, the final of Millennium Alex versus Gaara, and Alex took the set.
So Alex is your Open Qualifier champion, taking away $8,000. I bet he's super happy to get that win under his belt, not only for his team, but for his country as well. And who would you say was the player that really kind of stood out for you in this event?
It's definitely a tough one. Obviously, Gaara and Alex played really well. Alex played fairly solid. He took decks that were, I don't think there was any, it wasn't decks like Freeze Mage or Patron or anything like that. Very solid decks, Secret Paladin being one, very sort of straightforward. He played them really well, though, and made correct judgments throughout the whole series of the top 8. But, to be honest, Camlin, taking some unorthodox decks and performing well enough to get a top 3 spot in a 512 man is pretty crazy. And you know what? After battling through that many matches for a 512 bracket against some crazy players in the top 8 and still getting a spot, pretty impressive, to be honest.
I think I agree with you there. Camlin, really impressed me, not only with his play, but with his deck building choices, and his lineup choices. I think he is a great player to go to some like the WCA finals and bring that kind of that spice,
that craziness,
which you just love to see.
When you see players at a tournament, you always think like, I want someone to bring something crazy, like something completely nuts, and we have seen Mech Druid before, but not so much at all compared to most of the decks in tournament play. So really good, and I look forward to seeing him play in the finals.
So that's it for us. That is the end of the tournament. That is the Open Qualifier finished, and you have your 3 finalists who will be going to China. If you'd like to find out any more information about WCA or the Grand Finals, which will be in China, be sure to check out the website. Any thoughts on the last match or any of the games that have been played during the last 2 days, sorry, be sure to hit us up on Twitter on hashtag WCA Europe. So that's it for us, Raven. You know, it's been a great casting. We've had a lot of fun. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, just overall great event. I mean, I really enjoyed coming out to Berlin to cast the event. Really fun. And yeah, you know, not cast with you for a while in the tournament.
Almost a year,
yeah, considering we started off casting together, that was always fun. But yeah, just great event as a whole. And I'm really all it's done for me is built up even more the WCA finals in China. I'm really looking forward to seeing that event.
Excellent. All right, so that'll be us signing off. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Be sure to check out the website, find any more information for the future events. So that's it from us. Have a good evening, and we'll see you again.
Have a good night, guys.